Hi, friends. How are you? I'm Christiana Gaudet. I am live on my YouTube channel, and it is time for Cards and Conversation, our online tarot meetup. This is the replacement meetup for our usual monthly meetup at Panera in Palm City. I'm happy to make it open to people all over the world and very happy to see you all here. If you happen to be watching an archive, thank you for being here as well. Let me say hi to a few people who are here. Diva Sabrina, it's nice to see you. Lenore, glad you're here. Karen Winkle, how you doing? Ancient Voices, Elizabeth, you're here. Very good. Mercedes, Pamela, Leisha, that's Smile Soul here. Melanie, glad you're here. Sunshine, Dina, so nice to see you all. Hey, Dave, nice to see you. Jake is Robin Levine. Very good. Jackie, glad to see you. Marion, glad you're here. Hey, Goth, how are we pronouncing that? Goth Angel, how about that? And I know who you are. You're Lola. Yes, indeed. Glad you're here. Hey, Cousin Bob, nice to see you. Alexandria, Julia, happy to see all of you. Laura is here, and we will welcome people as people come into the room. Okay, so I think a lot of you know what this is going to look like. We start out in the first 45 minutes with your burning questions. Goth is fine. Okay, good. Very good. Now, your burning questions can look like a couple of different things. Your burning questions can be a question for a room full of tarot readers. We will practice reading for each other. That's part of what we do in the first half of our time together. Your burning question can also be a question about a particular card, or a reading that you have done that you don't understand. And like, for example, Elizabeth, I know for a fact, has some questions about a reading she has done. So if you're in that situation, you can let us know what the question was, what the cards that came up were, and we'll put our heads together and try to help you. So let's just jump into it. Now is the time for burning questions. So it can be a question about tarot, something that you want to know about a card, a particular card's tarot technique, anything at all. Or it can be the sort of question that you would ask a room full of tarot readers regarding your own life, something that you would like to know. Those of you here who are readers, get your cards shuffled. We will be reading for each other. Once we get about halfway through, we're here for we're here for an hour and a half. So once we get through about 45 minutes, we will then shift into some specific tarot study. And if you have ideas for what you want to study together, I've got a couple of things I thought we might play with. But if you have specific things you'd like to learn or study today, let us know. We could do that as well. Okay, let's say hi to a few more people. Creole Moon, Camille, glad you're here. Present and accounted for. Mercedes, glad you're here. Ashley, Rachel, first time here. Glad you're here. La Morena, glad you're here. Jill, glad you're here. Claire, happy to see you. And Claire has an interesting question. How do personal dreams relate to personal readings? So I'm going to ask you to expound on that question. When you say dreams, do you mean dreams like goals and fantasies? Do you mean like the dreams we have when we're asleep? And are you asking about dreaming about the cards? Are you asking about interpreting dreams with the cards? Are you finding a correlation between the dreams you have and the messages you're getting in your reading? Please expound on that for me. Yes, indeed. Hey, Julie with a clear sign. That's okay. You're here with your business account, and we're happy to see you here. Okay. Okay, so let me just go back and look at some of the questions coming in. Okay. Hang on, I'm scrolling. Okay, so we've got a couple of questions for readings, starting with Mercedes, Jill, Claire. I'm going to wait for you to expound on what you have. Karen has a good question. Okay, this is a fun one. I'm going to break with protocol here. Usually we do just straight up readings first, and then we go into technique stuff. I feel like switching it up just a little bit. Hey, Anita, nice to see you. Glad that you're here. Okay, so I would like to actually start with this discussion item from Amanda, and then I will scroll back. We'll get to all the readings. Elizabeth, you've got 2 spreads for clarification. Go ahead and lay it out for us, and we'll do our best for you. Okay, here's a question from my good friend Amanda. Amanda, I would love to be able to give you a hug right now. Okay, did a relationship reading. It went well, but how do you handle a negative reading with a couple? So what a great question. I'd love to know how many of you do couples readings regularly. I do a lot of that kind of stuff. Couples readings, pod readings for polyamorous groups, family readings, group dynamic readings, all of that. So what do you do? I don't know if the technology allows, you can share pictures, but I don't know if the technology allows. Let us know, find out. Okay, so what do you do if you're doing a reading with a couple and it turns out that this couple seems destined for failure? How do you handle that? If you would like to ring in on this, okay, Anita does couples readings. Anita, ring in on this. And, we're going to be having a lot of conversations concurrently. So definitely preface your conversation with what you're talking about. So couples readings, and then tell us your thoughts. My feeling is this. I have not been to school to be a couples counselor. And so if I see trouble, I am going to refer to counseling right away, number 1. Number 2, even if I think that this couple may not have what it takes to keep a long-term relationship, one thing that I can tell you, sorry, I just had an avalanche of paper here. One thing that I can tell you is that if you bring positivity and humor, get people to laugh with each other, and get people to communicate with each other. Now, I know what I was going to say though. One thing I can tell you is that I have seen relationships that in the cards it looked like they were not going to make it, and they did. I have seen relationships that I thought had everything going for them that didn't make it. Relationships are hard to predict. And so when we are doing a couples reading, yes, we're not counselors, but we're also not there to say, oh, you will live happily ever after, or you guys might as well break up right now. That's not what we're there to do. Now, Anita has some good ideas here. Let me see if I can scroll down to what Anita has to say. This is really smart. Point out strengths first. Where are they doing well? Where are they communicating well? And then go to what doesn't work. That comes from Anita Stewart. Very good idea. Julie at A Clear Sign says, I do couples readings often, but usually not with both present. And Anita says she tries to show them ways that they can come together. Right. I was doing a mother-daughter thing recently, and they are on different ends of the spectrum politically, and that just happened. They were in alignment, and then one of them switched their views. And they had already had a hard time connecting. And so they were doing so well, and then this happened, and they were afraid it was going to pull them apart. So we had to talk about what are the ways you can communicate. Goth, I remind them that we all have free will. Yes. Creole Moon, not regularly. When it gets awkward, I really do not enjoy it. I am blessed with the gift of diplomacy, but it's exhausting. Let's see. Anita says, yes, I refer for counseling and let them know that it does not mean they are weak. They just need help from someone who is licensed and trained to help them. Absolutely. Julia, nice to see you here. For couples, I feel it has to be the way the message is delivered. So you may need to reframe the information so it sounds more easily accepted. And Anita and I agree on this. We don't want to work outside the area of our scope. Amanda likes the referral to counseling. Absolutely. Dave says, I try very hard to suggest that they not sit in on the same reading, even saying the reading might have something to say about the other partners. So I love to sit them together if they want to, and if that's why they're coming to me. And usually I'll do it in an hour. So like the first bit is going to be just about person A. The second bit is going to be just about person B, and I'll see how they show up in each other's cards. And that can be so very telling. And then we can do things like have each person, put all the cards together, shuffle them, have each person pull one card, like, what am I bringing to the relationship? Each pull a card. Or what is my biggest complaint? Each pull a card. And you know what it does? It starts communication. And if we do it in a lighthearted way with humor, we can handle some really heavy stuff. Jill, about couples readings, says, just watch the Ozark episode where both parties bribed the therapist to take their side. The one thing I learned, it isn't worth doing a couples reading if the cartel is involved. Goth says, usually I'm blunt, saying things as I see them from the cards and finding synonyms to express the negativity in a more positive way. I let them know what the cards say is not set in stone. For Karen Winkle, couples delve in deeper to the tougher aspects of the relationships to point out areas where they need to pay special attention and identify patterns to find ways to overcome. Absolutely. And God says, I remind them we have free will. Yes. From Julia, a clear sign. I think we can talk through issues without shame or blame. Sense of humor really helps. Yes. And I see readings have already started. That's wonderful. Rachel said, I did a reading that turned into a couple reading. He cheated on her. I told her the reading, and then she put them on the phone, focused on what they need to do. Dina, couples readings only for one part if couple is there. 3 cards, 1 each person, and 1 is relationship. Oh, yes, 3 cards, 1 each person, 1 is relationship. I do that too. I look at what's not there. Right. Rachel says, I pointed out strengths, and they also agreed everything I said made sense. Okay, very good, very good. Dina says, it definitely helped my husband and I to do tarot together and speak through the images. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so that was really very interesting. All right, let's go back and let's do some readings. And I'm scrolling all the way back to get to the first question. So, and some of you have already started readings. So if you've asked a question, make sure you read through to see your readings and make sure you interact with each other. Okay, so I'm going to go through one at a time. And here we go. We're going to start with Mercedes. So if you'd like to read for Mercedes, and a lot of you already have, just put her name, Mercedes L., the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. We go through this very quickly. If you're trying to follow along with me, you might want to do every other one because it's easier to speak than it is to type, right? And it's 1 card each, but since we're each pulling a card, the person gets a complete reading, so to speak. So again, if you've asked a question, make sure you read through. Okay, so should I bring my daughter from the Northeast to Florida for the fall college term? So is that like a COVID-related question, I'm wondering? I'm thinking it probably is. So if you'd like to read for Mercedes, Mercedes L, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Six of Wands. I feel like she is a good student. She's good at what she does. I think the COVID interruption has been very, very difficult for her. But what I have to say is she is going to be very successful no matter what. Mercedes says, yes, it is COVID related. You know, I am all about err on the side of caution. We will have COVID under control at some point before too long. And I feel like you as mom have to do whatever you think you need to do to keep her safe, because if she misses some time, she'll make it up. She'll be fine. But we want to make sure that her health is fine too. And a lot of young people are finding that they do suffer some permanent damage with COVID. So if that could be avoided, that would be best. Okay. Jill. Now, Jill is an author and she's moving forward on publication, but nonetheless seems to have an issue. What do I need to do to unblock myself writing-wise? Jill seems to have writer's block. Okay, Mercedes says her daughter has a compromised immune system. So yeah, I think that we really should be careful here. Okay, if you'd like to read for Jill, at Jill Watson, the name of the card you got, your interpretation. And how do you unblock yourself from your writer's block? Excuse me. The Devil. Honestly, Jill, I think you're fearing your own success right now. I think that you are so close to real success. And that is scaring you. So I'm going to say stop being afraid of your success. Okay, Karen Winkle. This morning I gave a really great natal astrology reading, which inspired me to get off my butt and get my metaphysical business into a more online presence. What should I focus on to do this? Very clear question. If you'd like to read for her, at Karen Winkle, the name of the card you got and your interpretation, what should she focus on to get her business online as an astrologer? And I assume a tarot reader as well. What do we see for Karen? The Hierophant reversed. So this is really interesting. I would say a couple of things. I think this is more what you shouldn't listen to. I think you shouldn't listen to a bunch of business coaches. I think you should do what intuitively feels right for you and just do what feels right and do it and make it happen and get out of your own damn way. That's what I think. Okay. Hey, Lisa Rush, nice to see you. Kathy Levin, glad you're here. Hey, this is a fun question. Not for a reading, but go ahead and answer to Marion at Marion K. Tarot. She wants to know, other than the Ace of Pentacles, what are good cards to take to a job interview? And I do always say, you know, you're off to a job interview, slip an Ace of Pentacles into your pocket, for sure, for sure. Thinking the Knight of Swords for communication, I would agree. Can you think of any other cards that Marion should have with her for her job interview tomorrow? I like the Three of Pentacles because the level of recognition, you know, seems to be appropriate there. Maybe also the Six of Pentacles for the offer of the job. Anyone else want to answer that? Just direct it to Marion K. Tarot. Diva Sabrina, time for a reading. What do I need to do or know for my new business to be successful? If you would like to read for her, at Diva Sabrina, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. And again, whatever question you're answering, make sure you tag it so that we know, because we've got like 4 or 5 different conversations going on here, which is very much like what happens when we meet at Panera. As much as I try to get everyone to stay on the same page and in the same conversation, we usually have 20, 25 people at a table, and same thing happens, lots and lots of different conversations. So, you know, the only difference is I don't have a bagel. I wish I had a bagel, but I don't. Okay, Diva Sabrina, if you'd like to read for her, put her name at Dina Sabrina, the name of the card you got, your interpretation, answering the question, what do I need to do or know for my new business to be successful? Wow. The devil. I've shuffled and this card is coming up a lot today. And honestly, in this case, I'm going to say run to the devil rather than away from the devil. Commit yourself. Commit yourself to do the things that you must do. Do it like it's your job. Seriously. And it will become your job. Okay, Dave. Can the current uncertainties amount to root chakra crisis and the manifest health issues around the root chakra? I think that's what's been happening with me. Dave, I think that makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. I'd love to hear what other people have to say. You can tag that current uncertainties or at David Victor. But I think, if we think about the root chakra as what connects us to the earth, and the fact that we have not been good stewards of our earth, and there are so many ways that this is being expressed, I think it shows up in a lot of different ways. And we're coming ungrounded in so many ways. I see like new craziness every day. And I think if we all, like every person on the planet, did a root chakra meditation together and really worked on the root chakra, I think everything would get better. I really do believe that. Okay, so Claire, back to the question about dreams. Sleep dream correlations. I dreamt I ate fish with marshmallows and loved it. And I think we all recognize that there's probably not too many dishes where fish and marshmallows would be great. It makes me think of Doctor Who and fish sticks and custard, which I have actually had. I went to a Doctor Who convention, a Time Lord Fest, and ate fish sticks with custard, and it was nasty. But I did it because I'm that much of a fangirl. But do we correlate that with tarot somehow? Are the marshmallows like pentacles and the fish like cups? What are we doing with that? Okay. Lisa Rush, burning question. What do I need to know to get repeat clients? That's an interesting question. I wonder if we want to do that as a reading or if we want to do that. And are we talking about tarot reading clients? I feel like we're going to do this as a reading, but honestly, Lisa, if you were also looking for advice from other tarot professionals about getting, Dave is being a Dalek. Okay. If you, Lisa, are talking about getting repeat clients in your tarot business and want professional readers to ring in on that, let us know and we'll do that too. But let's do a reading about it now. At Lisa Rush, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. What do I need to know to get repeat clients? Four of Cups reversed. I think you have to recognize that you are talking about tarot reading clients. So let's play with that on a couple levels. Let's do it as a reading and then let's also talk about it. I think with the Four of Cups reversed, what I am saying is that you've got to see the value to that. What is the value to continuing to work with someone? And when we talk about repeat clients, are we looking at doing a package where we're working on issues over time, or just people who know to call you when something happens? And that's what I see with this card. And now I'm going to go into advice. So if you have advice for her, just make sure you are differentiating between this is what I saw in the cards and this is what has worked in my own business for Lisa Rush wanting to get repeat clients in tarot reading. So I think sometimes it's just about recognizing that you're building a relationship with someone and that if you helped them when they were buying their house, you can also help them when they're graduating from night school. I mean, whatever's changing in their lives, whatever's going on. And people sort of learn that when X, Y, or Z comes up, they're going to want to talk with you about it before they go forward. Or you also have people who just like do a monthly thing. I want to speak with you every month, or I want to speak with you every 3 months, or I want to speak with you once a year, just to see what's going on. And so I think it's about building that relationship. Okay, La Morena. I'm wondering how you might answer super specific questions for things not commonly asked of the tarot, like the kind of things I tend to ask you. So I think a lot of that, and I'll just share this, and if you have thoughts like, how do you get very specific things from a tarot reading? I think a lot of it is in the reading, you are also psychically open and things will come to you psychically. Sometimes it's just something that you see in the card and it takes you there. Sometimes it's something you hear, but I think it's really about activating your own psychic ability in that way. Right, and La Morena is referencing the reading for the person's deceased father when it was pumpkins and the 3 of Cups. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, here's a question from my cousin Bob. We don't know that we're really cousins, but we think we are because our families come from the same place where apparently we're all related. So how cool is that? Okay. Can I go to Quebec next year with the idea of possibly buying property? If you would like to read for him, at Bob Lamarche, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. What do you think? Buying property in Quebec. The 2 of Wands. It may not happen next year. It may happen the year after, but it is a good idea. Be patient, though. Okay. Kathy Levin. Question. Can I be effective in helping my nephew Vito? If you would like to read for Kathy, go ahead and put her name at Kathy Levin, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Can I be effective in helping my nephew? And with this question, you may get an answer that actually says how to be effective or not. Let's see. The 5 of Wands, I wonder if there's a lot of people trying to help and not much is getting done. I wonder if there's conflict about how he should be helped, and I'm wondering if he himself is in conflict. I would say you do not want to add to the conflict, whatever that is. Excuse me. I would also say you may want to hold space for that conflict to help him figure out what he wants. Okay. Let's see. Looking for more questions. Okay, lots of good thoughts on the couples readings, I think. And lots of good readings going on. Alicia, nice to see you here. Okay, here's a burning question from Laura. Speaking of dreams, does anyone have a great spread on interpreting your dreams? I'm a newbie, and so also a spread with not too many cards involved. So I'm going to table that till we get to the second half, and I think we're really going to work on dream interpretation with tarot. So if you have thoughts on that, we're going to be talking about that in about 15 minutes. We'll open up to that topic, so don't go anywhere. And if you have thoughts about how you do this, please get ready to share because there's a lot of good ways. Hey, Picky Nicky, glad you're here. Very good. Okay. Now I am scrolling through. Again, lots of great readings. Thank you so much. Marion has a comment about couples readings. I'll do each individually, but if it's difficult, I'll refer them to a counselor or an astrologer. Okay, and Elizabeth is getting ready to share with us the spread that she did. And so what she says, it's in getting ready for a difficult conversation with a man with whom she's had a 4-year on and off relationship. And she's going to share her cards in just a moment. Karen says she's never done a couples reading. Okay, let's do a reading for Karen in the meanwhile. This is Karen Maynard, at Karen Maynard. How am I going to get along with my new neighbors? If you'd like to read for her, at Karen Maynard, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Knight of Wands. I think you should start off friendly. I think there's going to be things about them that you find a little irritating, but I think overall it'll be okay. Okay. Oh, and here's a question for Anita. Okay, Anita Stewart, if you'd like to answer this question, at Anita Stewart, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Should we go forward with the current plans for our retirement? The World. Absolutely. If you want to, if this is what you're feeling is right for you, by all means do it. You have, sort of the wind will be at your back. Absolutely. Okay, Alicia. Okay. Have I already applied to the job that I will be moving to next? Interesting question. What do we see going on for her? If you'd like to read for her, at Alicia, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Will she get a job that she's already applied for? Wheel of Fortune, it looks like yes, she will. Okay. Lots of great readings. Okay, Joanne Oshnick. Any love interest on the horizon? We love these questions. Okay, if you'd like to read for her, add Joanne, name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Ace of Pentacles, I would say yes. I would say yes and coming soon. Okay. Hey, Triskel Studio, nice to see you here. I know who you are, too. I know your name, and I can't remember it, but I know you. Okay, lots of good readings going on here. Very, very good. Thanks so much, everyone, for participating. This is so much fun. Okay, and for Marion, for her job, 8 of Pentacles and 3 of Pentacles. Have it with you during your interview. Okay, Gypsy Jade, what type of schooling would be best for my child? With a question like that, I would really want to ask, what are the options? I mean, are we asking public versus private? Are we choosing a university? Are we asking in-person versus virtual? What are the options here? Or are we just looking for, they need to have schooling with a lot of animals? I mean, tell us what the options are. Come back with something with more specific parameters, and we'll help. Betty, it's good to see you here. After studying tarot for 2 years, what should I do specifically to get off my butt and get started? And I assume when you say get started, you might mean starting a tarot business or reading more seriously or going deeper into your studies. So if you'd like to do a reading for Betty, at Betty Fletcher, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. 6 of Wands, you need to know that you're good at it. You need to feel like you actually have it, that you're competitive, that you're good at it. And you do. A lot of people are liking the 8 of Pentacles for Marion for the job. Okay. Okay, Rachel, here's a burning question. I have an opportunity to leave healthcare and move into farming for a specific product that is well in demand. Is this offer legitimate? You growing weed? Okay. So if you'd like to read for Rachel, at Rachel Zoe Goebel, name the card you got and your interpretation. Is this a legitimate offer? Knight of Cups seems that way. Seems like it might be, yeah. Now, understand there's a difference between is this a legitimate offer and should you do it? I simply asked the cards if it was a legitimate offer. Whether or not it's right for you and what you should do is a whole other question, just to be clear. Lori Hahn, nice to see you. And Anita says, regarding the question about Dave's question about the root chakra, she wisely says, well, also the heart and the crown. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Okay, Smile Soul 20, our friend Leisha. My burning question, will I have a special someone before my birthday? All right, if you'd like to read for him, at Smile Soul 20, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. The Six of Swords, it's possible. It's coming. It's coming. So I was close. Pharmaceutical hemp. Yeah, see, there you go. See, I was close. Okay. Pamela. Working through your book. She's reading my book, Fortune Stellar. I got the Knight of Wands for my demographic and Hermit for how to reach them. Would love some input on this. I have ideas, but would love more input. Okay, so if you've read Fortune Stellar, and if you haven't, it's available on Amazon and also on Ingram Spark. We do a series of exercises to help you figure out sort of who you are as a tarot reader and what your tarot business can and should look like. And so the question is about figuring out who your niche demographic is and how to reach them. And it's interesting. So the demographic is the Knight of Wands, and how to reach them is the Hermit. Now, it's funny because the Hermit, on one hand, is holding the lamp of wisdom for all, but is also very patiently sort of sitting back and isn't like in people's faces, right? And so the Knight of Wands, I think your favorite demographic is going to be younger people. And it's going to be people who are trying to achieve their goals, who want help figuring out their careers, who want to know how to grow and how to move forward. Not the people who are like, dealing with, not the people who are looking for fortune telling, as much as the people who are really looking for how they can heal and how they can move forward and how they can pursue their passions, their spirituality, and develop their talents. Those are the people that you want. Reach them. How do you reach them? The Hermit. So I feel like what you want to do there with the Hermit is I think you have to broadcast wide, because the Hermit holds the lamp for everyone. It's not like, I'm shining my light for you, Cynthia. I'm on the top of the mountain and I'm holding my light for all. So whether that's blogging or broadcasting, I think you have to share your wisdom to a larger audience to bring people in, to bring the individuals in. Share to all to bring in individuals. That's what I think. If anyone else has ideas, I'm sure Pamela would love to hear them. Okay, lots of great readings going on. Thanks everyone for participating. Okay. Okay, interesting. Back to the fish and the marshmallows. Claire's dream. Fish are like cups. Marshmallows are like a state of mind, undecided or mushy. Could that be cups like two, though, like the Seven of Cups? And, you're on to an interesting thing, looking at elements of your dream and seeing how they relate to tarot and what you can get like that, what you can get from that. Okay. Okay, and again, if you've asked any question, there's so much going on in the comments. Make sure you read through. Most of the wisdom going on here isn't coming from me. It's going on in these comments. So make sure you read and participate there. Okay. The question about getting repeat clients, I think that was Lisa Rush. Kathy Levin says, offer free readings for referrals. And Amanda says to Lisa, I have found that honesty and trust help to keep clients, and word of mouth is really big. Oh my gosh, it so is. It so is. Oh, here's a question from Alicia. How do you get numbers and dates from tarot? Oh, that is so interesting. So there are numerous ways to do that. You can use astrology. You can assign seasons to the suits. Of course, the numbers are easy because the cards are numbered, right? And sometimes I think it's just looking at what you see in the picture. If it's snowing in the picture, it'll happen in the winter. You know, it can be like that too. So if anyone wants to ring in on their technique for tarot timing, just put it as tarot timing and share your thoughts. And you know, another thing, there are some cards that are slow and some cards that are fast. So sometimes it's a matter of not a specific date, but it's going to happen really soon, or it's going to take a while. What's an example of that? So fast cards are the Eight of Wands and the Knight of Swords. If you're looking at timing and you get those cards, you know it's going to happen quick. Slow cards, the Hanged Man's pretty slow. The Knight of Pentacles is pretty slow. You get those cards, it's going to take longer. Okay. For Lisa Rush from Anita, envision clients and finances increasing and being content. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Lots of good readings going on. Okay. La Morena, I have a question. I'm going to an appointment soon. How does it look? Okay, this is one of those great questions where we have no idea what kind of an appointment. Is it a doctor's appointment? Is it a job interview? Is it a dating service? Is it military recruitment? It could be anything. We don't know. But I think sometimes just answering a question like that can be really interesting. So let's give it a go. La Morena, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. How does it look? Strength. You know, this appointment is going to help you get control of something that you really need to get control of. And it's going to help you be more of yourself. Okay. You know, my question for you, Lisa Rush, says not getting many repeat clients. It's been bugging me. Are you getting referrals? You know, I find referrals and repeats often very much go together. You know, I call them the 2 R's of successful business, referrals and repeats. So if you are getting referrals and you're not getting repeats, that would be an interesting thing if you're not getting either of them. There. Christine Petta, I knew you, and you're on a mountain with a terrible connection. Well, we're glad you're here. Okay. So, Melanie, how are cards handled when all the cards are reversed? I've heard to ignore the reversals, which sounds wrong. I agree that's wrong. And I mean, okay, in the context of things, nothing is wrong. There are no tarot police. Everyone can read the way they feel is right. So if you feel like if it's all reversed, you should ignore the reversals, that's fine. But I don't agree. Diva Sabrina and I had this conversation recently. If all or most of the cards are reversed, that has its own interpretation. You may be feeling like your world is upside down. You may be feeling like you don't know which end is up, or your entire world has been upended, right? So see what that feels like. And then interpret each card as its reversal, the way you normally would. That's what I think. If anyone else has other thoughts, go ahead. Okay, a BQ, which stands for a big question. Sally Larkin, so good to see you, my friend. I miss you so much. Big question from Mom. Okay, so here's true confessions. I have known Sally's mother, Dolly, for literally as long as I've been in business, which is a long freaking time. Dolly was at my very first public appearance reading tarot many, many years ago. She paid $2 for a reading for me. And we are still friends all of these years later. So Sally, will Tammy, Sally's sister, get the job? Will Tammy get the job? At Sally Larkin, name of the card you got and your interpretation. Will Tammy get the job? Ooh, 8 of Wands reversed. I would be praying really hard. It does not look easy. Okay, Sunshine. Okay, here's what we got. Sunshine. I graduated in March and need to complete my internship in 1.5 years. I'm in cancer remission and have asthma, so obviously hard risk for COVID. Should I start my internship or wait until things begin to recover, COVIDly speaking? And I live in Palm Beach County. Have we met in person? Do we know each other? If not, I hope when this is all over, we will meet in person. Okay, so supposed to complete the internship in 1.5 years in Palm Beach County, which is a hot spot right now, and a risk for COVID. What should she do? At Sunshine, name of the card you got and your interpretation. The Hierophant reversed. I think you have to talk to the school and you have to ask for an extension. See if they can give you an extension, or if there's a way you can do an internship over the computer in some way. Okay, let's do this question. Picky Nikki. Am I on the right path to achieve my goals? If you'd like to read for her, at Picky Nikki's Tarot, the name of the card you got and your interpretation. Am I on the right path to achieve my goals? Ace of Cups reversed. There's a problem there. You are not putting enough energy or love or belief in it. There's more you need to bring here. Bring more energy to it. Okay, lots of great readings here. And we're coming to the end of our readings, and we're going to get more focused on tarot technique in just a moment. And we will be speaking specifically about how we work with dreams and tarot, because we've had 2 people ask about that. Okay. Hey, Kathy Rotondo, haven't seen you in a long time. Glad you're here. Okay, I am just scrolling on through, so much going on here. Okay, so we'll do, as I said, we're going to come to the close of questions, but I'll handle this one for Cynthia. I am thinking to find another apartment and move soon, or should I wait until my lease ends? If you'd like to answer that, at Cynthia, name of the card you got and your interpretation. Knight of Wands, totally up to you, in my opinion. Either whatever you feel. I don't get a sense one way or the other. Okay. Okay, so we'll do this one. Lenore, I've written a book. Should I go ahead and try to publish it? Not self-published, but with an actual publisher. At Lenore 8N, name of the card you got and your interpretation. King of Pentacles reversed. I feel like it may need some further editing first, but you might as well go to a publisher first, because the publisher will help you with that. Okay. Lots of great stuff going on here. And I'm just, at this point, I'm not going to take myself any more reading questions. If you're still doing readings, go ahead and make sure you read through to get all your readings. I am looking through. Oh, thanks for all the love for Fortune Stellar. I really appreciate that. If you are a professional reader or want to be a professional reader, I did write a book for you. It's called Fortune Stellar, What Every Professional Tarot Reader Needs to Know. Okay. So, we will do Gypsy Jade because I asked for clarification on her question. What do I need to know in regards to the type of online schooling or combination of online in-person schooling that would be best for my middle schooler? Now that's a question. Perfect, perfect, perfect. If you'd like to read for her at Gypsy Jade, name of the card you got and your interpretation. 3 of Cups. You definitely need focus on the arts and music and social activity. That does not mean it has to be in person, but it means it has to honor those things and offer those opportunities. Okay. Okay, very good. Jill is all about the fish and marshmallows. Oh, and the fish. Well, the fish made you think of the Page of Cups. I got it. I understand what you're talking about. Okay, regarding tarot timing from Anita Stewart. Movement, weather in the cards, suits and associating the seasons and the numbers on the cards. Absolutely. Okay, more about the fish and the marshmallows dream. Can't help but wonder if it's meant to mean that there's a way to make something you think unappealing appetizing. Oh, how brilliant. Oh, and here's a question from Karen. Reversals with time and dates. A reversal could indicate a delay. You know, that this will happen, but it's going to be delayed. For Betty, tarot timing, look at the astrology signs of the cards, like Aquarius, January, that kind of thing. Right, so the star is Aquarius, so if it's a star, it would happen in January. Okay, from Amanda, tarot timing. I have also pulled a card and looked at the actual number, like Christiana said in the interpretation of the question. You know, this is such an interesting thing. This is my favorite thing to do with tarot timing, is if it's something that is likely to happen like within the year, and we're just looking at the month, I very often will look at just the number of the minor arcana cards. So if it's like a lot of 8s, it's going to happen in August. If it's a lot of 9s, it's going to happen in September. And it so often will happen that way. If it's an ace, it'll happen in January. It'll happen like that. Okay, again, just scrolling through. From Anita, talking about the Hanged Man as a standstill, something in stasis. Okay, and with the whole spread reversed from Diva Sabrina, she says take a pause and reread it, you know, like it might cause you to pay special attention. Okay, so from Robin, which is Jake5345, use the suits. Wands for June, cups for March, swords for September, pentacles for December. Okay. Karen, I often have readings in which the cards are reversed. I just do the reading, but explain this is a very important message and to be vigilant. Oh, here's a good question. And this, I think, was had to do with Tammy's job from Sally via Dolly. That was like a fourth party question. From my cousin Bob Lamarche. How do you deal with questions about other people, like whether someone else will get a job? So this is a third party reading. And some people really do have an issue with that and don't like to do third party readings for a whole lot of reasons. Now, my feeling is, Like, you can't read about me without reading about my friends and family, because the people in my life are so important to me. They really are my life. And I think most people are like that. So I feel like inherently in a reading, we're going to talk about other people behind their back. And I recognize that in any aspect of society, talking about other people behind their back is a dicey thing. And I think it all has to do with intention. If what we're doing is about their healing, it's about getting along better, it's about figuring out what's going on with someone, that's fine. I think if someone has become an enemy and it's figuring out how to handle that, that's fine. There are certain third-party questions I do not answer. My favorite, and some of you have heard this, I got this question the longest time ago, but I always drag it out as an example of the sort of third-party question I will not answer. This is a real question I got at the table. My husband's remarried. My ex-husband. My ex-husband is remarried. How is his sex life with his new wife? I did not answer that question. What I did do is say, I think we really have to look at why you're thinking about this. I am pretty sure he's not sitting at his tarot reader's table and asking about your sex life. What's going on here? What do we need to do to heal? And that's what we do. Okay. Okay, from Anita, what do other readers do when a client wants you to psychically stalk someone else? For example, a potential boyfriend, someone who's clearly by their actions not interested in the querent. Well, and again, that's more of that third-party reading stuff. I think, it depends on, the point at which it becomes unhealthy is the point at which I won't do it. And we have to talk about, why are we doing this? I will make other questions around that. Why do you have this fascination with this person? Let's pull some cards. Where can you put your energy instead? Where might there be a new relationship? Right? Okay. Yes, I do have 2 books, and a third one will be coming out soon. I promised myself I'd get it finished during quarantine. Of course, I haven't, but I will. The second book is Tarot Tour Guide. That's an exploration of tarot, the 4 elements, and your spiritual journey. Picky Nikki, we would love to have you here in Palm City. Okay. Lots of readings still happening. Okay, Karen, every reading I do, I shuffle the cards for a particular person right now. The Chariot comes out. Please explain that. I shuffle the cards for a particular person right now. What does that mean? I need you to explain it. Honestly, Anita, I would say there's a huge difference between psychically stalking and third-party readings. There are, and I mean, everyone has their own ethical boundaries. None of us will have the same ethics. And the important thing is that we know what our ethics are and we stick within them. And I think that psychic stalking is third-party reading, but not every third-party reading is going to be psychic stalking or psychic spying. Do you also use the colors of the cards? Oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes. Ring in on this, folks. Do you use the colors of the cards? How do you use the colors of the cards? I absolutely do. I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again because it's a fun one. So I was working with a regular weight deck, and there's a wide variety of colors in those cards. And I laid out the cards for someone, and my mind went totally blank. I could not, for the life of me, come up with a great opening line. And I really feel like at the beginning of a reading, your great opening line is so important, right? And I couldn't think of anything to say. And what I noticed is I'm looking at 11 cards and they all have blue backgrounds. There's so much blue. And so I said to the person, the only thing that is coming to me is the color blue. And she started laughing. So, turns out, the reason she had come to see me was she was having trouble with her boss, whose name is Blue. Crazy, right? Okay. Okay, so Karen, I set the intention while I'm shuffling that this reading is for the next 3 months or 3 months or whatever, and then look at the numbers of the cards, like 8 weeks, 8 days, etc., within the time that I have set. Very good, very good. Right, I knew that question was coming. Which card for November and December from Dora? The Hanged Man would be 11. No, sorry, 12. That Justice and the Hanged Man. At that point, I go to the majors. Or court cards as well. Karen, third-party readings, I'll do them if it isn't just a nosy Gladys Kravitz being a busybody. There you go. I'm so with you. Okay, here's more about the fish and marshmallows dream. For those of you who have come in later and missed the start of Fish and Marshmallows, I am sure you are wondering what we're talking about. Claire had a dream about fish and marshmallows, and we've been relating it to tarot and talking about relating dreams to tarot. This is from Betty. Knights and Pentacles, a new career adventure with energy and enthusiasm is coming. That's so good. That's so good. Okay. From Alicia, intention is so true. If you're reading to pry where your nose doesn't belong, you shouldn't be reading. Exactly. Agreed. Okay. Right, and here's what Bob has to say. This makes sense. Only as that person relates to the querent, right? So a mother wondering if her daughter's going to get the job. I mean, I worry about my kids' employment all the time. I get that. Okay. Marion says, if your intention is ethical, then yes to third-party readings. As you say, when it becomes unhealthy, then it's probably not the best idea. Yeah. Karen says, I've done a few third-party readings, like for a daughter, her mother being the client, or father's son, because they have serious concerns. And a few times I ask them to text to ask their permission. Right. Stalker cards. Okay. We're gone from psychic stalkers to stalker cards. Okay. Anyone else get stalker cards? I've been getting the Knight of Cups a lot. So I love the Knight of Cups as a stalker card. Depending on what your romantic situation is, if you're single, that could mean that love is coming. If you're in a relationship, that could be about deepening that connection. On a spiritual level, that could be about really bringing the high vibration of unconditional love into the world. Such a beautiful thing. Dave says, read third-party readings. In Reiki, we're not supposed to send Reiki energy unless there's consent. Should that be applied to tarot too? I think you're going to find a wide range of opinions. I think Anita would say yes, definitely. I don't mean to put words in your mouth, Anita, but I think that's what I got from you. I would say not necessary. So it really depends on the person. There's no unified code of ethics with tarot. There are no tarot police. Everyone kind of has their own way. There are many different traditions. You got to do what feels right. Oh, this is brilliant from Anita. Colors. I use the colors of chakras and associations. That is so smart. I love that. Oh, right now during this meetup, the Chariot is coming up. Anyone want to ring in on that? Karen, as she's been reading for other people, The Chariot keeps coming up, keeps coming up, keeps coming up. Could that be because we're all at a distance, but we're moving to be together in this energy? What do you think? Pamela, yes, this is about colors. I use colors of cards. Often it relates to chakras, but not always. It can relate to common thread in the cards or themes. So, okay, truth. I've been a professional reader for more than 25 years, full time. And never have I thought about relating the colors to chakras. Duh, I have a chakra banner hanging right over there. But have I thought of this before? No. And that's why these meetings are so very valuable to all of us. Because at any stage of your development, you can learn something new. And when we share with each other, the way people here have so generously shared, we can learn so much. So I just learned something from you, from Anita and Pamela, that I'm going to start using in my practice right away. Laura, is it possible to get a hint on what your third book is about? No, Project X. Will not say, but it's coming out. Do your books come in ebooks on Amazon as well? Yes. And one of them is also up on Ingram Spark. But yes, they're on Amazon too. For Mercedes, colors of the cards give me a sense of the environment where the querent is at this time. Amanda, I most definitely use the colors. Red can mean passion or anger, or sometimes a favorable color. White can be spirit. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. Hadina says, I like to point out the dawn colors on the Ten of Swords. Yeah, absolutely. Rachel, color of cards. Yes, I do. There are times a color just stands out. Rachel says, with timing, I swear spirit just doesn't want me to know timing. You know, I have had some readings where I've been so dead on with the timing, and other times I couldn't shoot a fish in a barrel. It's hard. Timing is hard. I totally agree. Okay, back to Fish and Marshmallow would make a great band name. Hey, there's my ukulele there. We could, the Fish and Marshmallow song. The Fish and Marshmallow Band. Betty, I usually do the gypsy spread, no set card placement. How do you know when the cards are finished with the message? I keep reading, I keep pulling cards until the client is complete. Or until it's so freaking obvious, it just feels it. Or until you get a major arcana. From Karen, I don't know why, but marshmallows remind me of the World card and Page of Cups for fish. Kathy Levin, third party, back to the third party. Look at intentions. Do they feel honest and helpful? Here's a stalker card. The Five of Pentacles all year long. Well, that could be for the whole planet. We're all in a Five of Pentacles place. But maybe it's for you too. Maybe, Karen, you're not feeling your wealth. Maybe you're not feeling that you're going to have what you need. Maybe you need to do some root chakra stuff to assure your knowledge that you're going to have what you need. Okay. So for third-party readings, I asked people if the family member would be okay with a reading. Julia, the Chariot is Cancer, and here we are working together, supporting one another. That's going back to why Karen is getting the Chariot all this time. Okay. We should do a reading question to guess your next book. That would be hilarious. Okay. Dave, the problem I have with putting great value in the color, dark light items in the background with the weight deck is when you're working with any other deck that all goes out the window. Yeah, it's definitely deck specific. Like the Fenestra deck, it's all the same color. This doesn't work. Bob, third party reading. When I said if it relates to the querent, I mean the impact on the relationship between the querent and the third party, not just that they're related. Fair enough. Fair enough. So like a lot of times I think about it like, how can I help? Right? What can I do for my mother? What help does my mother need? That kind of thing. Okay. Julia likes to use astrology for timing. All right, now let's get to the topic. We said that we would talk about dream interpretation with tarot. Now, we've just been doing this fun thing with Claire Carter, and I think this is great, and I've never thought about it before, but I think we should all play with it. Kathy Rotondo is doing it for the new book, The Empress. Seeds have been planted, not fully grown. Fair enough. Okay. The idea that if you have a dream that sticks with you, that has particular symbols in it, particular elements, you could cognitively think about how it connects to tarot. Never thought about doing this, but Claire, I think you're brilliant, and I want all of us to do it. So she dreamt of fish, and so now she's thinking about the Page of Cups with the fish, right? Okay. For stalking cards, Cynthia has the Queen of Wands. It's a good thing, right? Absolutely. So, and here's another question. What deck would you recommend for doing mediumship readings? All of them, actually. I mean, you might say ghosts and spirits or something like that, but really any of them, honestly. So, dream interpretation. How do you do dream interpretation with tarot? Now, I do want to say I've done a blog post on this recently. If you go to my website and look through my blogs, it's been within the past, I think it was like in March or April. You will find a technique, or you can just Google on my name and technique for dream interpretation. You'll find it. But here's a 4-card spread from Rachel. What is the meaning of the dream? What is the message? What am I to learn? What action should I take? Dreams. What is the connection between toilets and tarot? The fear that every reader has that I'm really full of shit. Sorry, I just had to say it. But seriously, I mean, no matter how much we trust ourselves, no matter how much others trust us, don't we always at some point in our lives have this question of like, good Lord, how is it that we get this psychic information? How is it that these cards offer such profound guidance? Am I really delusional, or is this real? And I know it's real. This has been my whole life. I know it's real. And I never doubt it. At the table, I never doubt it. But seriously, if we're to be honest with each other, don't we all at some point have that question of, really? Right? And I think that's okay. You know, I was brought up in the Methodist Church, and one of the tenets that I was brought up with is it's okay to question God, because God's strong enough to be questioned. Tarot is strong enough to be questioned. Our own psychic ability is strong enough to be questioned. So that's where that joke came from. Okay. So, Pamela, fish and marshmallows remind me of pregnancy cravings, so the Empress comes to mind. Okay. So let's go back. If you have other ideas of how to interpret dreams with tarot, please do share. I will give you in a nutshell what I tend to do. I will make up a spread about the dream itself. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to think about all the elements of the dream. Now, okay, so fish and marshmallows. So I might say, okay, what does the fish represent? And I'll pull a card. So the fish in this case might represent your home or your family. What do the marshmallows represent? Death. So if I were to do it this way, I would say that this dream was somehow about creating a change having to do with the home or the family. And it can get very elaborate. It may end up being a very large spread if it's a very complex dream. Karen says, I guess that just dovetails nicely. This is the 5 of Pence. Dovetails nicely with my overall lack of self-confidence, so I get a lot of toilets in my dreams. You know, there it is. But let's do a reading on that. What do the toilets have to do with Karen's dreams, really? The 6 of Pentacles, well, you know, from the time we are very little, there is always that fear of what if there will not be a toilet when I need it? And so there is that sense of having what you need. Okay, Dave, one of the major things that has kept me from turning pro since 1978 is that I'm not consistent. At one sitting, I can be brilliant for one reading and totally suck for the next and be so-so in the third. Oh, I want to read on that, Dave. What's the deal with consistency? The Chariot. Ha ha, Karen. I too. But are you sure that it's you sucking? Or is it just the way you're feeling about it? Because I think very often we can't judge how the reading went. I've had readings that at the end, I felt like, man, that was so great. And it didn't really feel like the client was that impressed. Other times, I've had readings that I walked out of it feeling not so fresh, and I find out the client is raving about me and sending all their family to me. So is it possible, Dave, that you are consistent and it's your feelings about the readings that are not consistent? What do you think? Okay, Anita, looking at the symbols within the dreams and what cards you find those in. Pull out those cards and analyze what you see. Right, that's exactly what Claire was talking about with the fish and the marshmallows. Amanda said, I think if someone gave me their dream and I was really stuck, the cards could help me figure it all out. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ooh, Dave at Karen, flushing the truth. That's so funny. And Kathy got the 6 of Pentacles as well. And Karen laughs, it connects with the 5 of Pentacles and the worry about lacking what I need. Okay. So, any other thoughts about dreams? Julie Barrett, hey, you were able to get in as yourself now. I had a dream last week that my current old tarot deck had several cards fall into the stream. I was sitting next to it trying to rescue them and gave up and decided to buy a new deck. Wow, she dreamed about her cards. Do you guys ever dream about your cards? That is such an interesting thing. I mean, that feels like really obvious you should buy a new deck. Or do you know which cards you lost? Or what is that saying about you as a professional reader? So that's so meaty. I could think about that for hours and hours and hours. A lot of stuff coming up about the toilet dream. Dave says, I salt my readings with verifiable facts so the querents can tell me straight whether I'm hot, cold, or what. Does that work? And do they? I don't know, man. I find that, like you can say to a client, so I'm getting something really important about an oven. And they'll say, I don't have an oven. And you'll say, yeah, but there's this, oh, you mean my stove? I think that, and I'm not saying that client feedback isn't important. I'm saying that somehow in that conversation, the problem can become semantical. Let's put it that way. Julie, you lost the Wheel of Fortune. That is so interesting. Are you worrying that your luck has run out or that things are not moving in your direction? That is so interesting. Okay. So lots of interesting stuff about the toilet dream there too. So what have we all learned today? We've talked about colors. We've talked about third-party readings. We've talked about dream interpretation with tarot. We've talked about how to get repeat clients. Right, Kathy says sometimes they don't get it at first and it has to marinate with them. Right. And so that's an interesting question. Absolutely. Oh, Bob, that's an interesting thing for Julie regarding the Wheel of Fortune needing to take more risks. That is very, very interesting. I love it. Okay, so in our final 10 minutes together, why don't we, also the Chariot. Oh, isn't that interesting? I wonder what would happen if we made a commitment, like how you can lucid dream. You can make a commitment to dream about something. What if you ask the cards to come into your dream, before you go to sleep tonight? ask the cards to come in and see what happens. That might be kind of interesting, right? See where that goes. So I'm trying to think about a unifying theme on which we could all pull one card. And what about this? What if we all asked this question of our cards and each pulled a card, and for as much time as we have left, chat in your own card and your interpretation. We can help each other with interpretations. What if it's, man, so much going on in this toilet conversation that's so funny. Could the toilet mean that there's a lot of, you know what, you need to clear out spiritual cleansing, like smudging yourself? Sure. Okay. What if we all pull a card, recognizing, one of the things we talked about here too is that we are all always learning. No matter how much you know, you can always learn more. And what if we all pull a card about what can I do to learn more or to deepen my tarot practice? Not so much about your tarot business, if you do indeed have a business, but your own personal practice with tarot and how you work with tarot in all aspects of your life. What can I do to take a next step forward with tarot, wherever I am in my journey? So whether you're brand new or whether you've been reading for a long time, why not pull a card about that question? Oh, this is funny. Karen says, I'm holding a ton of other people's crap in my house and it's weighing me down in a massive way. Yeah, see, we got it. We got you. Okay. So, even something sort of funny and weird like that, dreams are meant to be interpreted, for sure. So, one card about the journey forward with tarot. I'll share mine. Mine is Strength, which is also, by the way, my birth card. And to interpret it in terms of going deeper, I would really make this be about shadow work for myself and for others, how to identify the inner lion, and learn to control it better. Dina, thanks so much for being here. So, shameless self-promotion time. Share with us the card you got, and also drop your shameless self-promotion. If you've got a blog, if you've got a website, if you've got a Facebook page, if you've got a YouTube channel, drop it in the comments. Let's support each other. Okay, so Amanda got the Queen of Cups, listening to others and paying attention to my surroundings. Anita, 2 of Cups. Could that be about healing with tarot? Bob got the 4 of Cups, be satisfied with my progress and continue to build on it. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, Anita, I love it. Coming together and feeling the vibes. I miss seeing you at meetups in person, Anita. Well, thank you all so much for being here. Robin, who is Jake. Knight of Swords, move forward and think things through logically. Julia, 4 of Swords, add meditation. Mercedes, 8 of Pentacles, lots of stuff going in through. Make sure you read it over and share it. Let me share with you some promotions. Next week, I'm doing a free class here on my YouTube channel. July 18th, it's Saturday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We're doing the Celestial cards. It's going to be an hour-long class, a deep dive into the star, the moon, the sun, and the world. So join me. It's a free class. And my premium class this month on Zoom, Personal Tarot Reading for Yourself, Wednesday, July 29th, 7 p.m. You need a ticket for that. Tickets are $37.50 American dollars. And you can find that on my website under events, christianagodet.com, or on my Facebook business page, again, under the events. Let me go back and see some of the cards. Rachel got the Knight of Swords. I need to dive in and be confident. Yes. Karen Maynard, 3 of Pentacles reversed. I got to do the work or forget about it. Amanda, this is great. I'm going to have to make a road trip when you are. Yes, yes, yes. We will get together in person when we are able. Yes, yes. Let me go back and see some more of these cards. La Morena, Five of Cups and Ace of Wands. Let's see. Karen Winkle, Queen of Swords, nurture my ability to speak the truth. Mercedes, Eight of Pentacles, need to continue studying, practicing, and working it. The Apprenticeship card, damn straight. Alicia, mine is the Hermit reversed. I need to think. I definitely think for me, this is about being more open, that I know how to do it and be willing to put myself out there publicly to practice. Absolutely. Pamela, Queen of Wands reversed, own my creativity, uniqueness, and passion. Stop self-censoring. Yes, self-censoring. Julie, put Queen of Cups, put more emotion and heart into the journey and business. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Jackie got the Ace of Cups, man. Open your heart. Do it with love. Melanie, Seven of Wands, be more alert, see active factors around me, interact more vigorously. Beautiful. Dave, the High Priestess, third time you've pulled it. Yeah, seriously, very good. Kathy, the Tower, break it down. Diva Sabrina, Star reversed, holding back and not open to exposing my emotions. I knew that, okay. Divine Love and Light Ceremonies, Knight of Cups, feeling confident. Yes, indeed. Rachel, Knight of Swords, I need to dive in and be more confident. Yes, we said, I'm repeating myself here. I am giving a free class on your birthday. Yes, it is just for you, Alicia. Gypsy Jade, Seven of Wands, be unique and do your thing. And drop those shameless self-promotions here. Oh, birth card. The birth card is like your birth number card. Like I'm born under the number 8. My birth date adds up to 8, so I'm strength. Laura, 10 of Pentacles. It's safe for me to learn more about tarot with this group like family. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, people are dropping their Instagram accounts. Definitely follow people. Betty, King of Pentacles. Self-employment, yeah. Cynthia, Knight of Cups. Don't hesitate that I'm advancing securely but slowly. Definitely I should continue to the next step. And Cynthia, do it with love. Yes, when we can get together in person, I will look forward to seeing you in person, Rachel, for sure. Dawn, so nice to see you. King of Cups, my own affection and love for the tarot, and your own ability to spread love to others. Remember that the King of Cups is the epitome of that high vibration of love. Okay, so your astrological card is a different thing, right? So like my astrological card is death. That's also a birth card. And if you're interested in these birth cards, then come to my personal tarot class because we will find all of your personal tarot cards. Well, if your birth card is the Tower, then it is also the Chariot, right? Because it would be a 7, right? Wouldn't it be? Okay, very good. I want to remind you all, too, to sign up for my weekly newsletter, Tarot Topics. Go to my website, christianagaudet.com, and sign up for my website. Please also like this video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already. And keep an eye on the playlist, live tarot webinars. You'll see what's coming up, and you can watch the ones that you've missed. Okay, let's see. From Christine, is there a possibility to know about the opposite for dreams using the tarot to make a dream? Yes. Put your cards under your pillow when you go to sleep and ask that they enter your dreams. Absolutely yes. For sure. All right. Drop your shameless self-promotion here. Dave, you're the hermit. That's amazing. Okay. So let's support each other. Let's be there for each other. If we're not friends on Facebook, please do friend me and ask to join the Global Tarot Circle group on Facebook. We do this kind of meeting once a month on Facebook as well. And we're going to do this kind of meeting again in a couple of weeks. I'm trying to do one live a week on YouTube, so I'll hope to see you. I'm going to try to remember a birthday hat. Absolutely. Thank you all so much. So great to see you. I really appreciate you. Right, Betty, you're a Tower and Chariot person as well. That's not a bad thing. It really isn't. It's a good thing. Okay, folks, thank you so much. Namaste. Thanks for being here. I will look forward to seeing you all again soon. And remember, I am available for readings by phone, Skype, FaceTime, Messenger, Zoom, you name it. Anything but in person until we get a handle on this COVID thing. Thanks so much. Stay safe and stay well. Be good.